Okay, just making sure that I'm live everywhere where I need to be live, and we can look at it. Okay, I think we are good. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena. I am your host, and this is the place where we get to sit down and speak football. We get to speak South African football, African football, and every now and then we go overseas to Europe every now and then. But for the most part, we are speaking about South African football, and we want to expand, some of the conversations that we have. Now, this weekend, we have come from an international break. So this weekend, we're back with another competition, the Carling Black Label Knockout, and that is what we're going to be previewing today. Today is a little bit different for those who are listening on TikTok and on YouTube. The audio you're hearing is going to be coming from the WhatsApp group where the members, as a perk, on Thursdays, they get to pick a topic, and they're the ones that get to speak, and you get to listen to what the members have to say about whatever it is that they chose to speak about. We're speaking about the Carling Knockout today, but also Monday to Thursday, the show is done at 7 p.m. And if Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, Bafana, Banyana Style, UWC in the Champions League are playing, I will be here also live. So this weekend, we're going to be live from 3 p.m. From 3 p.m. up until 10. That's going to be crazy, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be very interesting. So if you do want to join me on Saturday as well, when we'll be able to come in, watch the games together, and talk. But the most important people today are the members. Oh, my member, how are you guys doing? Okay, so we're going to jump straight into it, guys. We're talking about the Carling Black Label Knockout, the trophy that was won by Stellenbosch last season. Stellenbosch are going to be taking on the AmaZulu. Pirates are going to be taking on Imakesi. Sundowns will take on Golden Arrows. And SuperSport United is going to be taking on Kaizer Chiefs. I think for respect, let's start with the guys who hold the trophy. Stellenbosch versus AmaZulu. How are we feeling about that game, knowing that Stellenbosch just fired Pablo Franco Martin, and Coach Tshwane and Coach Kano are taking over AmaZulu? Stellies, of course, will be looking to defend their first trophy. How do we feel about this one?
Yeah, good evening to the gents, good evening to arrogant and forever humble Mangoba. For me, I think it's going to be an interesting game. With new managers, you always expect new manager bounce. So could that be as early as now? And make no mistake, AmaZulu has some pretty good players. Stellies, I think, are from a loss. I think they want to rectify it as soon as possible. And they don't have the advantage of being an underdog. So all eyes will be on them throughout the entire stage. Even if they face Sundowns, Pirates, they'll forever be not regarded as underdogs because they are the defending champions of this cup. So for me, I think it's going to be a very interesting game, and I would like to see what the new managers have, and for me, I feel like they're going to prevail and win over Stellies. Yeah.
If Stellies don't win a trophy this year, Agent, is it a failure?
No. The arrogant Angoba once said that the mistake that Golden Arrows made, for those that are wondering about this thing, it's an inside joke. Please don't quote me on saying I was arrogant. But for me, Mangoba made a very good point that after Golden Arrows won a cup, the management expected that it should now be winning cups consistently. They raised expectations, but they didn't raise the budget and the quality of the team to raise those expectations. Same with Stellies now. And he was offering an advice with Stellies that if you want to increase your expectation, also increase the budget and also increase the quality of the players. Now, they've let a few good players go, and they've replaced at least trainers with Mujela, and he's been doing very good. But overall, the squad quality, I think, has dropped. So the expectation should always be there that we want to be within top 8, top 4, top 5, in and around there. That's where we want to be. Cups should come as a bonus. If they want to get to a stage where a cup is expectation, they should stop losing players and they should buy quality players. Yeah. So it shouldn't be a failure for them as long as they finish in the top 8.
How, guys? It's an open floor. Come on.
Yeah, man. Good evening, everybody. I trust that everyone is doing great. Yeah, it's George, ne? I think Stellenbosch are gonna beat Amazulu on the basis because one of their co-coaches is a seasonal great loser from Amazulu, ne? From Kaizer Chiefs, as Afazwane. I've never seen him like produce any tactics that makes people stand up and say, wow, what a game. Ne? Mara, on the other hand, it's a bittersweet moment because one of the other co-coaches is a friend to the show. I've always liked the guy to succeed, and what he has done with Richards Bay avoiding relegation and winning most of his playoff matches, it shows on what quality coach he is. He's relatively young. I don't want to say he's young because he's not, but he's young in the PSL, context. So, what I'm trying to say is that, Stellenbosch, I'm always going to bring up Sundowns. They've beat Sundowns convincingly and fair without any referee's help. So, they should be able to beat anyone on the continent, including Ahly. So, if they're now going to go and lose to Amazulu, it will be deemed as a failure. But then again, this is a cup tournament. Anything can go right, and also it can also go very wrong on any given day, provided the match officials are fair. But I don't know, man. I don't see Amazulu. Okay, sometimes I was gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because of the honeymoon phase when you've got two coaches, that momentum, euphoria can take you through. But in this instance, I don't see how. And again, this genuine of coaching, is difficult. So I'm giving it to Stellies.
So then, Kumo, when we speak about the two coaches, how impactful would the loss be on them? Because Pablo Franco Martinez left, they're close to the bottom of the log. The players are not necessarily motivated right now. How much of an effect will the loss have on Amazulu, or do they just brush it off and say, it's your first games?
You know what, with Amazulu, the only way you can go is only up because they're really at the bottom. My problem with these two coaches is that none of them is a superstar. And they're similar of age, even though one is older, but he comes from a big club. And the other one is said, I've actually survived relegation. What have you done? So no one has achieved more than the other. So who's gonna be the alpha coach in this instance? My problem is that they're gonna wanna show who has the biggest kahunas, and that can be to the detriment of the team itself. So it'll be interesting to see. But as for the bottom of Amazulu, no one is expecting them to win this cup, honestly. If they get to the semi-finals, great. But if they don't even get to the next round, no one will bet their eye. I think they're just focusing and hoping to get top 8 because they're in a phase where they're trying to stabilize their season. As you have mentioned, they're at the bottom, so they're gonna try. Their main aim is to actually try and climb as high as possible. Then next year, that is when they're gonna get the pressure, provided that this season they don't lose track of their ambitions and actually fight relegation.
Okay.
Kulugutu.
Yes,
As Mr. Oti, there's a test that we used to study in class, and an analogy where they say if ubopela inja epalini is round, and once you untie that leash, it's also around. So don't just expect us to fly. We are used to order, Mr. OT. We are used to giving each other a chance. So don't be surprised. Anyway, I think it's a good contest to open up out of respect. A nice gesture of respect also from you overthinking to acknowledge that ICAP is Stellenbosch. You understand, Mr. Uzi. How I look at it is that Stellenbosch, calling you out to on TikTok, I will tell you step by step. Stellenbosch, step by step. If they don't win this cup, Mr. Oti, it's not a failure. If they reach the semi-finals, great achievement. Stellenbosch should just be aiming to achieve top 8 spot. Anything more than that, they should celebrate like crazy. They must just maintain their top 8 status because there's Africa involved. They've already stretched their legs. In terms of MTN8, they've also stretched their minds. In terms of the MTN8 as well, the loss, they might have taken a serious beating emotionally, as we saw with the Jordaan Adams has also lost it somehow, because we've never heard of this complaint before. So already the season is stretching them mentally. You understand, Mr. T? So they have to understand with a top 8 finish, Mr. OT. Steve Parker should retain his contract and get an increase. And you know how I like referencing life as a philosophy. Sometimes people think an achievement is buying a new car or buying a 3rd or 4th car, but sometimes just maintaining your credit record is also an achievement, Mr. OT. The fact that you're still paying your bond, the fact that you're still paying your car, it's also an achievement worthy of being celebrated. At the end of the year, when you look at your balance sheet or your inventory and you like, actually, I've maintained my assets. I might have not accumulated, but I've maintained. It's worth celebrating as well, Mr. Wuti. So instead of aiming too high.
But can I ask before you leave Stellenbosch, can you talk a little bit to the psychology of the team then? How hard is it to do what you're saying? Because I mean, we won a trophy last year. We finished King 3rd, maybe by I think you guys were draw with them, if I'm not mistaken, and your goal difference took you over or something like that. You are in the final. You were in the final of the MTN8. How hard is it then to tell the players to calm down and simmer down and look at top 8? Isn't there, man, a little bit of something that pops up, even if it's a revenge for MTN8?
Look, Mr. If I'm asked to draw assumptions from certain indicators, I will say that the Stellenbosch management is sober. In the sense of which, even after the great feat that they achieved last season, they still continue with the club culture of selling and recruiting proper talent. They have not utilized their financial muscle that we all know that they have in their arsenal. They've kept to their kind of principles of saying we will buy low and sell high. That's such a Rupert thing, but we understand the So from management side, I don't think they'll put unnecessary pressure on Abo.
Hey, Theo Muta.
How are you?
Not to remember.
Thank you. I understand, Mr. Uzi. So looking at the mentality of Stellenbosch management, it will probably infiltrate to our players as well as the technical staff. Because I remember a season before last, they had a horrendous season, and the season before that, they had another good season. So it shows which the management is sober and it is able to back the technical team to say, no, see now, boy. And once as a coach you have that, now you're able to work under less pressure and talk to the team guys with no. In as much as we might be the 3rd team in this country at the moment, we are not expected to challenge Sundowns and run Kabuma King 29 or what was games unbeaten. No one expects that from us, and that we should never expect that from ourselves at this point in time. King 15 wins is 100% great for Stellenbosch, and they have to keep sober. Yes, the players as individuals, they might lose track, but I think they have enough support from management and ultimately the technical team to stay calm. Can I go to Amazulu?
Yeah, you can go to Amazulu. You can go to Amazulu.
With the Amazulu, Mr. OT, I thought at first the appointment of Coach Kanu, Coach Zwane was a bit too early. Because I thought if you want them to succeed, you let this current run of games, you cut your losses with them. You're like, okay, you know what? I will lose the next couple of games because the psychologically, which a new group sweeps clean, but you have to at least provide winnable fixtures, Mr. OT. You can't provide Stellenbosch, Pirates, Sundowns within the first 5 games, and and you want to assess those coaches. Those coaches might lose all of those games, Mr. OT, and draw one, and then suddenly the players don't have a faith good at my coach. You understand? They think these coaches are taking them anyway. Unlike had they let the GP literally lose all of those games, they could still save the team. Kabo, Zwane, and Coach VV. But then I had a sinister thought.
Okay.
Say, what if, and bear with me, and I wouldn't want this to be the case because, like Ukumo alluded, Coach Kanu is a friend of the show. But what if that is a thinking in Coach Amazulu management that let me get these guys in, they will lose these games, and then I will get my coach in after that.
Actually. Yeah.
He's like, okay, I wanted Kevin Johnson, but looking at this, so let me, I'll take DDC, that's one who doesn't really have a profile in terms of coaching, and him come up big players. But he will have 5 games and 5 coach and save it team. And I really hope that's not the case, Mr. OT.
Can I ask you then, mentality-wise, what does a loss do to Amazulu then with what you've stated now, but also just with, you expect a new manager bounce. If they lose this, does this game have any bearing on how the Amazulu players will feel?
It also depends on how they lose, Mr. OT. If they lose last minute 1-0, having hit the post 3 or 4 times, then it augurs for them. But I'm worried that their next game is Pirates at Orlando. Not to be overconfident as a Pirates fan, where you can easily catch a serious hiding, and compounded by that, there's Sundowns where you can get an even heavier beating, Mr. OT. So he worried. Maybe they could pick up a draw from Pirates, but then again, after you get a draw from Pirates, can you run against Sundowns, Mr. OT? I don't think so. And as a coach, you come against 3 hard-running teams. Teams that come at you. Can you really implement your philosophy, or are you forced to go in and defend immediately and start trying to damage limitation for the first 3 games from the first 5? Already you're trying to say, okay, let me lose 1 to Stellenbosch and see if I can take it to penalties. Let me try and get a draw against Orlando Pirates. Let me lose 1-0 to Sundowns. It's not fair for the coaches.
Okay, I think Tyler wanted to jump in. Tyler? Okay, it's fine. There we go.
Good evening, James, and to all the Arrogant Manobas out there, and possible live. Possible live. Yeah, good evening, James.
How do you feel about this fixture?
This one is it's going to be an easy one. Stellies will take it. Provided the fact that they will want to retain the cup. But I'm worried about their state because I've been looking at the games they've played. They've only, over the last 3 games, they only won 1. They lost to Polokwane, or actually they draw against Polokwane. They lost against the Golden Arrows 2-0, and they won Cape Town City. I think there's someone who said those guys are sober. I think I would like to agree with that. They understand the team and they had time to rest and fixed whatever problem they had. I think they're gonna come and win this game. With Amazulu, that appointment truly it was premature. And I don't, guys, they still need to learn one another. Who's the head coach there? if there's two appointment, who's the head coach then? Because that's the tactics they will apply in that game, and how Steve Barker will plan against that. If it's Arthur's one, the head coach, it's simple. They're gonna lose it, you know. I think the management there at Amazulu, somehow I feel like they're too involved. They're too involved with their team. They had at some point they had nice, good squad, balanced squad. But the appointment of the coach from overseas who comes in and try to learn first, they need to acclimatize with the country, get to know the players. That takes time. You don't have time for a player like Amazulu. You know, it's not like you always finish at number 4. So I feel like if really they want stability, they must stop chopping, changing coaches like they do. But, the appointment of these two, in 6 months' time, you mark this day, they'll be gone. That tells about inconsistency and too much involvement by management. And you ask yourself, what is it that they want? And sometimes their expectations are unrealistic. You know, because there was a time they wanted position 4, and you look at that squad, you're like, how are you going to achieve that? So Stellies is going to take this one. Yeah, that's
Can I ask? Isn't that an advantage for Amazulu that Coach Barker doesn't have anything to plan against? Nobody knows how these guys are going to play. Could it be a chance for Amazulu to catch Stellies unawares, purely from a preparation standpoint?
That's what I'm saying. I was asking who's the head coach there, Amazulu, because live to plan against that coach. And remember, he won against Arthur's and Chiefs, not once, not I think 4 times, 2 times. He won against the friend of the show at so he understands. And I don't. Those guys are not really matured on the game. They still need time on the game, and not unless he appointed one coach who's experienced, and then he uses these two as assistant. That makes, but to put them there as head coach, to me, that's not smart.
Okay. I think maybe for the last minute or so, Tshwane, I'm going to ask you to be very quick with your analysis, but I need some predictions. So Tshwane, I'm going to give you a minute or two just to speak, since we've got 4 matches to cover. What are your thoughts, Tshwane?
Evening, Oti. Evening to everyone on the panel, your viewers on YouTube and on TikTok. Just a quick one. I heard what Tyler said. I heard what Kuma also said, right? And I think it was a great analysis, from Abuti. I think the point that I'd like to bring across is that Steve Barker has never won against Arthur's one. In the season where Arthur's one was a coach and head coach at Kaizer Chiefs, he beat Stellies twice. And Chiefs was struggling at that time. And for me, I'm going to give this one to Amazulu, purely based on Steve Barker right now. I think he's going to crumble under pressure. Why I'm saying that is that he played very well last season. I take nothing away from it. But in his planning now this season, he had to also include playing in Africa, right? That's a bit of an overload. And then he went all the way through to the finals of the MTN 8, and now there's also that mental fatigue that creeps into players, and you look at the two sides. I think Amazulu has more experience. If you look at the players pound for pound, they've signed Richard Ofori also because they might think that they have a goalkeeping problem, right?
Yeah.
If you look at their back four, solid. They have a good back four. In the midfield, they have quality. I'm talking about the likes of Ben Motswari. I'm talking about the likes of that guy from Kailands. I just forgot his name.
Sure.
They have Ethan Brooks right there. They have Bronwyn Human. You know, those are good quality players. You know, for a team like Amazulu, I think they can build a formidable squad. You know, at the back also they have some good. You know, Johanna Moob, Ramahlum Pahlele. You know, I think they have a good team altogether. You know, and they're going to surprise a lot of people when they beat Stellenbosch this season. And not taking anything away from your Devin Titus, from your Jaden Adams, you know, your De Jongs. They're a brilliant squad. Your Bradley Mujela, like Stellies, like have been playing very well. You know, they're a team that's well put together. But I think this is going to be a test for them. You know, knowing how Coach Kanu plays. You know, he plays a lot of aggressive football, and One also plays the same type of football. You know, there are coaches that don't want their players to be bullied around the field of play, you know, and they love a team that plays the ball. They love players that are aggressive, that enjoy football, that are arrogant on the ball, that show who they are. So I don't think it's going to be an easy one for Stellies, and I don't see them defending this cup. Thank you.
Theo, tell prediction.
Hey, Mr. Sorry, man, I'm at work.
Ngifuna nje for i-prediction, ngiyakwazi.
Tshwane, I think today he has eaten a lot of something nice, so he's just thinking Stellies is the abantwana abancane. Uthi these guys bashaya Sundowns. There's no way they will crumble against Amazulu. Amazulu just got a new coach now. But others they still have to form in style of play. So Stellies is gonna win this one 3-1. Over 2.5 is gonna land, I promise you. But Stellenbosch is gonna win this one. Easy win for them.
But when it comes to these things, guys, let's move on to the second game. I'm going to go to SuperSport United versus Kaizer Chiefs. That is the second game that we're going to speak about now. SuperSport United, of course, Gavin Hunt. We know that they're missing up a Bradley Robla. They've been on and off a little bit now. Kaizer Chiefs, on the other hand, CAF Cup Champions, CAF Cup Champions. And Nabi just got his assistant coach. It was announced today that his assistant coach that he had when he was in Tanzania has now joined him in South Africa. So more of his team is coming together. That team has been playing well. How do we feel this game is going to go? Anyone can jump in, guys.
Okay, let me quickly go first.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to a very interesting game. Gavin Hunt doesn't like losing. Nabi doesn't like losing. You know, it's going to be a very difficult game for Chiefs. And this is based on what I saw the previous weekend. You know, I think one of the players that understands how to play for Nabi is Mdusha Balala and Nduba, you know, and I'm talking the frontliners, people that will pose a threat to SuperSport.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how fit Sereno will be, if he will start or if he will play, but so much of our movements are built around him. I see the team is also built around him, you know, because he's an experienced player. You know, when these boys start making mistakes, he calls them to order. You know, he's a great communicator. I've seen that, you know, and I hope he's fit to play. But if Sereno is not there, it's going to be quite tricky for Chiefs to pull a win, you know. I'm saying that because at times they get a bit disorganized in their pressing patterns. You know, you will see Ranga now trying to place, and now Dube is not following, Mdu is not following, you know, or sometimes they want to press all three of them together and they don't check if there's a man behind, you know. So it's going to be a difficult one. And you look at SuperSport, they have ample time. I think they even went to Bloemfontein to go and watch Kaizer Chiefs play, so they've had enough time to plan and to see how Chiefs play, you know.
Yeah.
And the high intensity Kaizer Chiefs, most of the time you see it in the first half, but in the second half they become a bit disjointed. You know, there's a bit of tactical ill discipline that they show, you know. So there's still a lot of work to be done by Nabi. So this one, any team that's going to win it will win it by one goal. It's like a 1-0 type of a game, because also you saw CAF Cup how the guys struggled to their chances, even though they created a few chances, but they struggled to just pass the net, to get that final touch into the back of the net, you know. And I think SuperSport are going to come out and say, there's no underdogs in this one, you know. SuperSport have seen that Chiefs Chiefs hasn't been that great over the past few seasons. You know, they're only trying to find themselves now. They're still trying to get their rhythm, and some of the players still lack the confidence. So they're gonna take advantage of that, and they're gonna go and play their game. That game that they played against Pirates, they could have won that game. You know, it was just a referee made a mistake, and that's how they won. Pirates won because of that referee mistake. So if they are able to give Pirates a tough time like that and almost have won that game, they can easily beat Chiefs. So they must go there and really play and make sure that they bury their chances.
Can I ask, will they, two questions, Trader, will they bury their chances without Krobler there, number one, and then number two, how important is the first 25 minutes of that game? Because we saw SuperSport United playing versus, I believe it was Sundowns, and they were very patient and they waited it out. And we know Kaizer Chiefs, man, Retuka in the beginning of the game. How important is that first 25 minutes? And then, secondly, should we worry for a strikerless SuperSport?
Look, Gavin Hunt has been in the game for long to know how he's going to play at this one. You know, I don't know if they registered Nukovic and if he's fit to play or if he's going to play because they signed him, right? He could be the element of surprise. But what I know from Gavin Hunt, if you look at the Gavin Hunt that coached Chiefs, there was no quality in that team, you know. But there was that individual brilliance and performances from certain players that he was able to get right. And I think this is what he's going to be able to do. You know, he has the experience as Sabo Vincent Poole. You know, he could be playing as a 10. You know, whoever that's going to be playing number 10 will be very important over the weekend because that's where he's going to expect his goals to come from. You know, he might not play with an out-and-out 9, but definitely he's going to have an outlet that's going to pose a threat to our defense because he's seen how sometimes the guys don't communicate, you know, especially our back line. When it comes to Kaizer Chiefs, the first 25 minutes will be the most crucial and most important because SuperSport will always wait for us and invite us into their lines, right? And when they do that, we need to make sure that every chance that we get, we break those chances, you know, because if we don't win the game first half, second half is going to become very difficult because during halftime, Kevin Hunt would have seen how we apply ourselves during the first half, you know, find something that can get him a goal, you know.
Does Nabi need a trophy very quickly before I let the others come in? Does Nabi need a trophy this year?
Definitely, you know. Not really for him. He's a great coach. You know, we've seen his quality. We've seen what he can do. You know, today he's bringing his assistant coach, you know, the man that he trusts and the man that we know he has a good CV. You know, I've seen how his players play at Janga, but he knows it. Why? So that the pressure doesn't pile up. You know, because there's so much that he wants to do in that team, but he cannot overhaul some of the players that he wants out. You know, so for now, to buy time, I think it will be important for him to grab something, you know. So I think Nabi, this one, I think it's even easier than the Nedbank Cup, you know, where you have lower division teams that you cannot even analyze, where you don't know who plays where, who plays how. You know, you meet a team and you have to play against them, you know, without having understood how they play, you know. But now you have teams that play in the same league as you. I think he's been able to watch a few games with the SuperSport. And I think it will be important for him to get, even if he gets to the same age, I will be happy. But if he goes all the way through, man, it will be incredible, you know. And it will also give him the time and the players the confidence that they need to get back to the Kaizer Chiefs that everyone desires, that everyone knows,
Let me go to Austin Tabi. Austin Tabi, Retzanka weekend, Austin Tabi. Retzanka weekend, SuperSport.
Dumelang. This weekend, ke must ya hore bashanyana ba wine hoba. Ke birthday ya ntata bona Motaung ho sewa keke. I don't think ba tlo batla mo disappoint. Mona teng ba tlolwana e tlo ba do or die. Re tlameha ho wina ba tlameha ho wina game ena this week. Ha ona ka mkgomo.
Mara team how
maybe ba tshepisitse hore maybe halkalage re tla le re hanyane.
Mara o ska ba kenya ko pressure ka bane ha ba bona di-date tse important ba loser.
Ba tlameha kgetlo lena Abdul ba under pressure ha ona ka mokgomong. Ba tlameha ho etsa Motaung a be happy ka 8 years ya hae. Ba tlameha ho thabisa di-supporter tsa bona tse sa le re sa bone nix, so ena ke must.
So then Ausentabi ha Theo Serino re etsa jwang?
Maybe ankere coach maybe nantsa paisa le SuperSport ka scheme sela sa qadileng ka sona kwa Blomo hore aska ntsha hore na ho tla etsahalang weekendeng re tlo bona di-flames fela seriously.
Jwale Gavin o mo etsang ka bane Gavin wa itsiba Chiefs na coach a teng ha o motshabi.
Hey, ke moleko mongwe o tlo kopana le ona but ke na le hope ya hore tlo wina mbuwe ka kwana ka Motaung hore ha le ka laetsa so birthday tlo tsamaya hantle dintho di tla ba so le Nabile yena o tlo ba kenya under pressure tla ba batla ho fa Motaung birthday present ya hore ha ke tlo disappoint.
Yeah, mara ere ke go botse Ausentabi. Nabi Sansa win a trophy this year or Sansa no le sharp as long as nani progress nyana.
Until half I win as long as re bapala a good footballer re se trailer eneng e gagatwa every time ile rona di tlisa ka PSL it's fine. Ha re sa thole trophy this year ha re na stress as long as re bapala ntwe e re bonang hore hona le meriante. Next season a ka nna ga batla trophy mara this season ha nna ke expect hore re na bia re fe trophy.
Ke mang also then o shebile mang o ra etse difference ka weekend.
E tla ba thatanyana.
Corona.
Hey.
O ka nna wa re saile go shapo mana o tsabe. A re tlolele.
Abdul re tla bona hai.
Ora o tsabe. Hi, okay, Ausentabi. Ere ke bone ore let me see who wants to jump in between let's go agent. Oh, Malume Kutso.
Mr. Uti, the game near SuperSport and Kaizer Chiefs, Liangwarisha, you know. Like I said, Nabi is motivational pill for the match now. I figure about pumped up.
Yeah.
But now I've seen a couple of games and incidents. I don't know if I'm the only one who feels this way, but that Marquez guy is a red card waiting to happen, Mr. OT. Miguel, that guy has a red card in his pocket at any moment. And going against SuperSport guys, La Baba experienced. And someone mentioned if Kokota is available, hey, Mr. Uti, it might make for different reading. Because you think about a strike force that includes Kokota, Terence Chukamanja, and Vincent Bule. That's a good striking force for like a good 35 minutes. I don't know for the rest of the game, but they can give you a couple of goals. Vincent Pule always has a goal in him. Chukamanja always has a goal in him, and Nurkovic always has a goal in him. When I look at the Chiefs' defense, I don't see that many defenders, Mr. Oti, capable of keeping a clean sheet. And we know the channels behind the fullbacks, always there, ready to be exposed. The positive part for this game, I haven't watched SuperSport that much, is that they don't really exploit those spaces behind the fullbacks. And it's because they don't really have that much pace up front, Mr. Oti. But if they can get their fullbacks to bomb forward or get players to run in the right channels, Chukamanja also has some speed in him to get in behind those channels, Mr. Oti. I see trouble for Chiefs. I really see trouble for Chiefs. Something just tells me Mikel might even pick up a red card, Mr. Oti.
So, Manamakus, I want to ask you about that specific thing. Do you think that Nabi has had enough time to close some of those gaps? Because I hear you speaking about Miguel possibly getting a yellow card. Gambo, you have Bradley Cross, who, he's gassed at the end of games a lot of the times. Do you think that he's had enough time to work on those things? And what is the expectation for him this season? Does he have to win a trophy as somebody who's on the outside?
Nabi has had ample time, Mr. Uti. I think he's in his third preseason, so he can't make any excuse, Mr. Uti, and say he didn't have time, Mr. Uti. He's had 2 weeks after every game to analyze what happened, to analyze and my training sessions in between. He's always had a full complement of players, aside from Mututli, but even with every international break, Chiefs has a full complement of players. They can work on everything and anything, Mr. Uti. I guess that's why sometimes Ututi looks out of place, because I got Jimmy Namachita up in the national team when Namachita going for preseason camps. But I look at it and I think, Mr. Uti, I got no excuse. He has to secure top 8. Winning a cup as someone from the outside, I don't think it's an achievable feat. But I know I'm a Chiefs fans, Mr. Oti. Like, there is no way to say, okay, congratulations, you made it to the semifinals. Once you're at the semifinals, they expect you to win the semifinal. And once you're at the final, they expect you to win that cup. I don't see Chiefs supporters clapping their hands that we lost the cup final. The best thing that could happen to Chiefs, and I'm sorry, is for them to drop out from the last 16 so that they can build up a positive environment. Hi, Mr. Uti. Final, but if you lose early and then you'll start racking up points in the league, it might create a happy environment. It's just my feeling, Mr. Uti.
Okay. Let me bring you to Agent. Agent, how do you feel about this game?
Interesting game. I think equally matched team. Pound for pound, player for player. I think with obviously SuperSport being a bit more experienced than Kaizer Chiefs, and the manager, I would say, more experienced, certainly in the South African game more than his counterpart, so I think in as much as the media and everybody would want you to believe that Chiefs is coming here as the big guys, I think they're coming here as the underdogs to SuperSport, and so shouldn't be much of an upset if Chiefs do happen to lose this game. I think it should just be part of the process, and people should understand that it is a process, and process by nature means you're going to lose and lose and lose and lose and lose, otherwise it won't be a process, I don't think there's going to be a massive success. Also looking at the quality of the players, and we heard that Sereno won't play 90 minutes. I think he's going to play 60, and again, playing against the Gavin team, if you're going to guess out at the 30th minute as you always do, then you're going to be in trouble with this Gavin team, and who knows, maybe Nazir, the Slayer maybe would be fit, maybe Kokota would be there also. You will never know, but even with that, Zuga Manja is also there to head the lines, so it's going to be a very interesting game, and a game that I see that Chiefs is going to lose, unfortunately. And I hope Chiefs are patient enough to understand the loss. You see now that I'm serious, now you make me laugh. But Chiefs should understand the loss that is most probably coming that way, and I think it's going to be a hard-fought 2-1, 3-1, 3-2 game, because I think Chiefs have goals on them. Don't make no mistake about that, and it will be very interesting to see. I think if Chiefs were to score first, they're likely to lose than Chiefs conceding first, because I think if Chiefs score first, they're going to lose. But if SuperSport come back, because I think I saw that mentality that they're very reactive, they need that adrenaline, and that adrenaline can only get it when we have conceded, because I think the 30th minute you have exhausted your energy, you are leading, you tend to relax, so I think that's that, so yeah, I see. Yeah.
So then, Agent, where should Chiefs look? If Sereno's not there, do we have a player that can come in? Do you think Nabi has had enough time to be flexible in that way to maybe make another type of style of play, if I can call it that? And number two, how much will the excitement play into this game? Because I think personally, Chiefs has struggled with overexcitement.
Can you repeat the questions? Something is going on here.
No, I was asking. Okay, I'll ask the last one first. How much will overexcitement play into this? Because it feels like Chiefs gets overexcited in the first 25 minutes, and then they go. They start playing badly, whereas SuperSport waited you guys out, for example, in the game that you guys played. And then secondly, I'll just ask, who's going to be the Serino if Serino's not there? Does Nabi have that in his team right now, or should we just write it off when Serino's not there?
Let me start with the last one. I think Serino will be there. He's gonna play some minutes. Chiefs cannot afford to play without Serino. He will definitely be there. You know, I'll bet 60 minutes. I think he's going to give him 60 minutes. But without Serino, I think I love the boy. What is his name? Vilakazi. I think if he was a coach, I would try him in the midfield. You know, because I think he has the requisite eye for a pass, and you know his skills can be of a better use in that midfield role. Because I think he has that drop of the soul. He can be the Zwane, kind of player who, that you're not going to lose the ball. He's going to do a trick or two there, and play it simple. I think also that can help him grow as a player, knowing when to do the skill, when not to do the skill, and not that nonsense of stepping on the ball and the end stuff. No, I think proper skill of eliminating players. So I think he can play that role, but I doubt coach has that in him. I think he's gonna trust Shabalala there, And I think again the key player would be Mark. I think Mark needs to be back in the team because Chiefs, for some weird reason, don't play well without Mark. But Mark seems like to be the weakest link. I don't understand it, but I think Chiefs need to have Mark there, and I think I love the combination with Castillo and Shabalala. I think also should play. In case he doesn't play Vilakazi there, I think Shabalala can occupy the so-called Serino role, And what was the first question again?
No. You've covered it. You've covered it.
Congratulations.
Let me go to Theo. Theo, ngifuna ukubuza ngeteam yakho mngani wami.
Others are already telling our downfall. They're already carrying us in a coffee. Hey, my daughter.
Uti ngale
Which team has recently won the cup in South Africa at the moment? Which team? It doesn't matter, OT. It's a plastic trophy, it's a sellotape trophy, it's a trophy, OT. And the funniest thing, OT, I heard someone talking about I'm a reject. I'm a reject. So don't tell you are the Chiefs reject. Really, every reject, Cheers Galas reject. You can't tell me with those guys, OT. And here's the funniest thing.
Mr. OT, sorry. Uzozwa lo muntu lo qeda ukukhuluma ngama reject a reference to Serino, but thank you.
No, Serino was another man's fish is another man's treasure. He was not rejected. But so I saw that because now retired already, they are struggling, but the Nicola. OT, that's where the funny part is at. People are talking in Chiefs as if Nazi team are peanuts. OT, for the past 7 seasons, OT, there is no team in the PSL that has been able to make Sundowns to play 8 defenders in the game. Never, OT. Chiefs is the first team to make Sundowns to defend, and they struggle, they rob their way into the win, and it's fine. But the one thing that I want to say, OT, that is very clear. OT, we don't have a coach. We have a manager. We have a technocrat. We have someone who analyzes the game from the bench. We have someone who doesn't just motivate players, OT, but who brings out the best out of the players. OT Chiefs at the moment, there is no way people are going to talk about us, but we're still in the top 8. OT, even in Paris right now, by Souza, because they know that we're coming for them. OT, the beautiful thing about the game is if we have someone on the bench who's not watching the game in the sense that I want my team to score, but who's watching at the game, looking at what is that I can fix. You understand? Look at how Serino plays. Look at Ntusha Balala, Abo Bandompanala Papambi, Abo Ranga. OT, there's combinations. That's why I think we just shorting it with the laga right. If we can have a front four, a solid OT, it's either let my I don't trust you, I don't trust you, Usaile. I wish we could have Ponta and OT or more than trying that side. But if you can have a front four, a strong OT, I believe me not, OT, we're gonna be a dangerous team this season. And I love Ipola agent Mara bring that OT. Who Martin in 8 position, guys, he's more effective than playing him with double six. He doesn't fit with double six. Put just Blom to sit deep. Put long he's gonna create those creating moments. Let them just praying for 2 things, OT. That can be effective in the game, score goals, don't miss like it did in the previous game. They may be clinical, and also that if they have 2A to the back 4 or back 2, whatever, can they communicate? I wonder if you can have that OT. For me, I'm not worried. I don't want to lie to you, and I'm gonna prove to you that tomorrow, Chiefs gonna win this game, not without a shadow of a doubt. OT, another thing. Besides, I'm playing Kevin Hunt. Kevin Hunt, OT, now he's always trying to. He tries too much. Let's be honest. He tries too much instead of going to a game and saying to the players, guys, go and enjoy yourself. Go there and express yourself. He wants to be.
Oh, Kevin Antaclimi Vodacom. Dio.
Yeah, he had to go, man. How can you say Chiefs are going to win tomorrow? Chiefs, of all the teams.
Guys, I think if I... Oh, okay. Tyler, can you give me a minute there? Give it Tyler Kilikozi.
Yeah, okay, sharp.
Tyler, I want to respond to the agent there.
Yeah, Tyler.
The agent of Manova. I want to reply. No. I think on this one, OT. I think this is going to be one of those big challenges for Kaizer Chiefs. But possible to win if they apply themselves very well and they fix the areas we've been complaining about. As much as SuperSport has got an experienced squad, but when I looked at them when they were playing against Pirates, how Pirates apply against them, apply themselves against them. I looked at that game. They sort of did what Chiefs normally do in their games. They apply them in the first 25 minutes. And they got those goals, those early goals. And SuperSport for now, it's a bit disappointing. They've got a nice, solid squad, but they're disjointed. You've got Usinako there, no Shachwaya at the back. They're very slow, and you've got Chiefs attacking 4. Uchiva Viro, he has shown quality so far. That he can score goal, he can bulldoze, he can run, he can hold, he can score. And you've got Shabalala, who is a marvel to watch this season. He can run, he can pass beautiful passes, and then you've got Sirin. I'm not sure about if he's going to play or not, but if he's playing, SuperSport is in for a big one. So, but I'm worried about there's a player there, number 838. Oh, he's a striker. They call him Cape Moralo. And there's a player who's number 28, Keenan. Oh, he was playing against Sundowns. You put him on the second half. That boy is a marvel to watch. On the right hand side, on the left hand side, yeah. So we know that SuperSport, the coach, doesn't play in the midfield. He always uses his wings.
Wide.
So worried about that. Because remember,
what's happening, Tyler?
What's happening there?
They are warming up Tyler's food.
Oh, you guys are hearing that?
You are warming up my food.
It's Billy. Someone's warming food over.
No, it's from my side. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Everybody else can't hear it, but you guys are hearing my mic pure. That's why.
So as I was saying, that they play on the wings. You know, they never play in the middle. They always pass sideways to try to find those crosses. The Chiefs needs to practice those, how to defend long balls, free kick, how to defend, because they strive against teams who don't know how to play against such games.
Yeah.
So you need to prepare your team very well against that. But Hugo Mobi is not quality, can't deliver crosses. So who's the guy who's playing on the left hand side for Chiefs? So he doesn't have to worry there about
Cross.
What's his name again?
Bradley Cross.
No, not Cross. The other guy.
Frostler.
Frostler, yeah.
Frostler.
He doesn't have to worry about jumping and marking Newcomer because he's not quality. He's not going to give SuperSport anything. But Cross must stay. He must not move because you've got a team that plays wing back a lot. So you want Cross to play. But in the middle of the park, I want the combination of Blom and Castillo. And Castillo moving up to join numbers up front to push for headers. You know, in that way, we are able to get a goal or two there against them because that defense is disjointed. But now, if Chiefs is going to apply themselves for the first 20-25 minutes, we know over the last 3 games they get something. So it means SuperSport will come in numbers. So that means you need Ole Doga, that defense, as someone was saying there earlier on. You need that defense to communicate with one another.
Yeah.
As I was saying, Cross, don't move. Just stay there and don't open spaces. And for Duba, I don't want Duba to play. I'd rather put Ashley to play because Ashley, he can give you something off the ball. He can give you something on the ball. So Uduba needs to work on his game in terms of the off the ball movement because a number of Chiefs goals have been coming because of his weakness, and people and coaches have identified that, especially Sundowns. When we played against Sundowns, the first goal came through Duba mistake. He was out of position, and you had Cross who had to mark Alende and the sensational number 10, the Sundowns. Ribeiro. So there was that space in between. So because of Duba created that space, so you don't need that. But if they apply themselves like they've done in the last 3 games, first 25 minutes, be that Chiefs, you go attack and get the early goals, and then you sit back and you defend. You should be okay.
For time. Kuma, I'm going to give you 1 sentence and a prediction. I'm giving you the prediction for this one.
Oh, what? Okay, sharp, boy. Okay, if you compare 1 sentence, kuira stanza.
Except
there were so many interesting points, especially from Theo. Barry Theo, what do you think of this game? I know team has made Sundowns in the past 8 years to play 8 defenders. Funny is because of the past 8 years, you remember Chiefs only winning once against us. Ne? And you also said, Warren, Chiefs is gonna play for Motaung CAF to celebrate. Since when? I get it 50 years. You even had that design, and you still lost. Whenever you guys have anniversary dates, you always lose. Ne? My thing is, OT, ne? The only motivation against Chiefs, for Kaizer Chiefs rather, Sundowns or when they play against Pirates. because you saw when they were playing against us, when they lost against us,
Yeah.
it looked like a proper Chiefs play. Wow, actually,
Marana,
Nabi might be onto something. But it was only for like 45 minutes. It's so powerful. They tried, but yeah, you saw what happened. The one. So my
score prediction, Kubo, Vodako.
Okay, 3-1 to SuperSport.
Yo. Hey. Okay, guys, if you're listening to the show, you're hearing the voices from the WhatsApp group. This is a call from the WhatsApp group. Thursdays are members' shows, which means that the people in that WhatsApp group are the ones that decide the topics, and then they get to speak on them a lot more than I do. Then, if you want to join the WhatsApp group, head on over to YouTube, click on subscribe, click on join. Then in the members area, that's where you will find the link to join the WhatsApp group. Okay. We're going to move on to the third match for today, which is going to be, let's go to Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns versus Golden Arrows. Mamelodi Sundowns, of course, very, very, very good team. We're seeing what's going to happen with Mangoba. They were knocked out of the MTN 8 by Stellenbosch. Now, I don't know if it's a must for them to come and win this trophy. I don't know if it's Coach Mangoba's under pressure, but we're going to see. So, guys, I'm going to open it up. We have left my house. Now I need you guys to look after your house. We don't want to speak too much about your house and tell you what you think. Kumo, tell me about your house. Sundowns, Golden Arrows. How is that gonna go?
You mean our mention? Okay.
Hey. You know, no one tells anyone to play 8 defenders.
That was the shadiest thing I've ever heard. I was so proud of my coach. So, OT. I can't believe I'm saying this. We are a very well rested team.
Oh.
We could, yes. I get it's amazing what happens. Suddenly the league stops when a certain team from Orlando has to play CAF. Nothing more to be said. But yeah, man, we've got a huge squad, and a lot of players are not on international duty. I was looking at my timeline, stalking my team as usual. And good spirits. I've seen them training. They look They look in good spirits. So even if we don't play our bafana internationals, I mean, like the great machine is injured. Mokwena might not play, and now along with Motaung, Reynas might start because his speed, he's an attacker. But even if they don't play, we've got so many people to replace them, and we can do this against any team, especially teams of like Golden Arrows caliber. Not to throw any shade, but guys, so if we lose to Golden Arrows, I will no longer defend Mangoba because there's nothing I can say to defend him. It's different when you lose to Pirates, or when you lose to a Stellenbosch, or especially in the final or semi-finals. You can Pirates.
He's going to lose this season a number of games.
Wait, guys.
I don't do banter on live, especially when you call yourself Tyler from the word Lutando. Already doesn't make sense.
Correct,
but
guys.
Okay. You understand? But my point is, how do you justify a loss from Golden Arrows? Make it make sense. I love the guy. Obviously, we were like, he startled when he started taking over from mokwena. We were not like, he was not make sure. But now we've seen our players, we're scoring more goals. Even though we didn't in the first 3 games, we're starting a lot of goals, and we've seen how quick and attacking we are orientated like going forward. So I expect a win, and by a very high margin, at least 3 goals. We can concede here and there because we tend to keep a very high line. So I wouldn't, be angry at that. But and congratulations to the Proteas women for making it to the finals.
Okay. Marakumo, before you go, I want to ask you about your team. Is Coach Mangoba under any pressure to win this trophy? Because MTN8 is gone. CAF Champions League, I guess you guys are aiming for it, but I mean, it's been a bit tough that side. Does he need to win, or does he need to prove anything at this point?
Well, because the thing is, like, you know what we want, you know what we are lasting over, you know? At this point, if he loses this trophy, it's gonna be like a speed bump. You're gonna like, okay, fine, he lost. But if he loses this and wins the league only and loses CAF, then you're gonna like, you couldn't even win the Carlin Black Label, what? And while you have players that are drunkards, you know how it's gonna be again.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I wonder if he loses this one and gets us CAF, we don't even care about the league. He's even gonna get a stage at Loftus. That's all we are saying. But make him lose, shame. I would to say the late Johan Skins.
Let me go to Agent. Agent, tell me about this game that you guys are playing versus the Golden Arrows. How do you feel about it?
Let me correct my lieutenant, or is it lieutenant? But whatever the word is. We're not the world brigadier. Well, the rested teams are Pirates and others, you know. But Pirates, I forgive them because, you know, they went to a final and at least Mofokeng, and at least the other one was an ice boy, so the traveling and stuff. So they're not that well rested. Others have been gone for two months, you know. As we've been playing, we have played against Congo home and we played Congo away. You know, so we have been busy in the continent, so we are back. Because, you know, yeah, so I think our players are a bit fatigued, you know, from not only the game, but carrying the entire nation on their back, you know, and you know how heavy Chiefs fans are. So there's been quite a ride.
Marawa, what's with the shots? Hey, man.
So, but onto the game, it's going to be an interesting game. Master versus apprentice. Apprentice. Yeah, I know Kuma's gonna come for me. But so Golden Arrows are capable of springing a surprise, in the sense that Sundowns are gonna play a high line, and so Arrows are a very good team, you know, so they are able to utilize those pieces. And our rest defense, as Kume has alluded to, is not that great, you know. As much as we create chances, we give away chances. Sundowns will always give you a chance. You're guaranteed of getting a chance against Sundowns, you know. And it's a cup game, you know. And when it's a cup game, anything can happen, you know. And excuse me, and you know Knoxman. Knoxman is a prolific striker, and I see that you're gonna be defending with Kekana, I assume, and Libusa, you know how Libusa is a bit slow, and we saw Kekana's weakness, that Kekana, you need to bully Kekana, so he's able of having the speediness and the physical ability to bully both Kekana and Libusa. So it can be a very interesting game, but the one that we should win comfortably by 2-goal difference, but I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. 3-1, 4-1, you know, they call us 4x4, you know, but it could be under 4. And excuse me. And again, lucky, sure. You know, there's a saying in English that you
create your own luck.
No, you hope for the best, but or you hope and pray for the best. You know what, you prepare for the worst. And Mangoba has planned for the worst, and the worst has happened that Ozwane is out. You know, and we've been preparing for this moment inevitably. You know, by design or whatever, you always have to plan for the worst. You know, and he planned for the worst, and that's what we've seen. And again, he did confirm, for those who were doubting us when he's saying there was a problem, he did confirm there was a problem with Tabza, and he has arrogantly said that he has fixed it, you know. And I hope the celebration of Tabza and the comments of Bruce don't get into that process, you know, because it will be very interesting if we play Kekana. And I would like to see Uli Busa and Kekana, to be honest with you, because I tend to agree with Mangoba that I don't like what is this guy? Otebza in the 6th area, because he tends to be excited and go forward. And when you go forward, you are supposed to be the cover. So what's happening? The cover needs to be covered. And he exposes your defenders, because Umaran is out, Umutau is gone also, Mujibada side is also gone. Who is covering the defense, and that was a major problem against State, is that we were exposed, and it wasn't just him, but it was the system that was there, that our 8 is not there to cover the defenders, and the defenders are stretched. So I think I would love to see him with an 8, but then if he plays an 8, it means you're taking Allende out. Can he do that? I don't know. But yeah, I think we should comfortably win this game, yeah.
Agent, I wanna stick on Golden Arrows. Do you think that Golden Arrows has gotten any better? I mean, we saw Coach Steve go there for a little bit. At some point, he collected 7. Mabuti Kanyeza went on a run of 7 games, losing. How do you feel about Golden Arrows and the decisions that they've made? And should they have maybe brought in other people? I know Kagiso Dikashwi has joined the technical team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and I remember the story too. Golden Arrows, for as long as they've been here, they should have really made the step up. They should be the Steelers now, But I feel like after Coach Mangoba, they kind of made the wrong decisions. And now I think Coach, no disrespect intended, but even if it is intended, it's my opinion. But anyways, no disrespect intended. I don't think Coach Mabuti is a coach that can take you to the next level, with due respect. I don't even think he's a top 8 coach. I think he's a safe 8 coach. He'll bring you 13, 14, then around there, because also the quality is there. I'm just worried about the squad, that what happens with this character of squad of Abu Knox, Go, and others. What happens next, because they don't have enough regeneration, and they've ever heard of DDC of Golden Arrows doing anything interesting, That's my worry, that if a team that does not...
No, Mr. OT.
Sorry, man. Yeah.
We must correct or we can.
Correct. Okay. No, correct. I'm under correction, yes.
Yeah, Golden Arrows DDC is one of the best. I think them and Stellenbosch have won the DDC. I'm not sure Sundowns has also won it. And a huge quartet of those players have since been promoted to the first team. And I think that team also includes BC. Abosbego, they are all graduates of Golden Arrows DDC. So they've actually made great strides.
The current one, the current DDC.
Yeah, no. Like, if the entire team is made out of DDC players.
No, I mean like a standout player that they've produced.
I don't even know the stand. Like, I've just mentioned them.
No, so CBC is a standout. Yeah, that's the part. But point taken. Sorry, but point taken that CBC is that top. But yeah, I don't think, for me, I think, like I said, Stellenbosch SuperSport, I always know whether producing, maybe because they produce maybe higher quality, I should say. I speak under correction. But yeah, for me, I feel like they should invest more into youth, or even loans. SuperSport survives on loans. There's many players at Sundowns, Chiefs, Pirates that need loans. Even CBC, maybe it's high time he goes home and also, as that top graduate. But yeah, I think they need a coach, to be fair with you. I don't think Mabuti is a coach. I'm sorry.
Guys, Sundowns, Golden Arrows. Who wants to jump in next year? Oh, Tyler?
Yes, OT. Yeah.
How do you feel about this one?
When it comes to Sundowns, they've got quality. In the PSL, I don't think there is a team that can compete against them. The only time I'll start judging them is when they play in the CAF, and this is where I want to see them on global football. Other than that, it's a straight win, because if you look at the last 6 games they played, they scored 16 goals so far.
Yeah.
And they're playing very fast. Their box entrance this season is the rate is up there, you know. They've got 5 players when they are taking in the box.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm just worried about the last 10 minutes of the game, because team seems to dominate against them around that time. And their defense is very slow, very, very, very slow for me, especially Lebusa. I think the Rook can do, or that Khoza boy can do better with getting there. Golden Arrows, they only scored 4 goals in 4 matches, and they only won 2 of those. And one of their wins was Stellies. Like to agree with Agent. I don't think really he is really competent as a coach. They need to look for solid coach or a co-coach somewhere there in their decisions. This one is straightforward. It's a 3-0 against Golden Arrow.
Tyler, can I ask you, does Manqoba need this trophy?
He needs it. I'm telling you, he needs it. He needs everything. Remember, Sundowns objective. They tell you, even them Manqobas, they tell you, our main objective is to win every game. And where do they get that from? Management. So if you win, you're bound to go. You know, look at what they did to Rulani. Rulani has won the many matches, but you only lost 1 game in the CAF. Yeah. So they fired him because they want every single thing. That's their objective. Because they've invested heavily on that team, a lot of money. You know, so you got so much money and then you become second best, but you cover 50 million plus, you know, players. So it means there's something wrong with you as a coach, which I think, for me, as I was telling you, in the 80th minute they are found wanting, and that is where the game is critical. Look at how they win in the last 94th, 92nd minute. So if you are Sundowns, I think what caused that is because in the first 60 minutes, 70 minutes of the game, they come at you. That's fast football. And then you start going down in your 80th minute, and the team to pick up to equalize. But the nice thing is that by then they scored about three goals, so there's no way for you to come back. Yeah.
This is very interesting because I you know, it's fine. Let me open it up. Does anybody else want to jump in?
Yeah, Mr. Oti.
Yes, Madam.
Just for Ulorder, man, agent. There's Bafana International by the name of Uzuke. He was also paired with CBC in that DDC Golden Arrows team. I've just went and checked out because Golden Arrows players would never be top of mind. And then there's another player by the name of Kongo. I think Kongo was trending last season in the PSL as another shining prospect, also from the DDC. Dube as well. Dube, I think we all know him. And then they had the twins, Abu Parushnath. Who also made it to the PSL. And then Yapi. But Yapi did not play in the PSL. I recall him playing for La Masia. Even met him during the development games at La Masia. So those are some of the notable names from the Golden Arrows DDC. And I want to reiterate that when it comes to
football, can you say of all teams that produce talent, is it even in the top 5? Let's be fair. Like, I'm hearing you mentioning names. CBC right now is still what is it called? Top of the list. Still, what is it called?
No. Wait. Let me correct that. Smith is a top player. Unfortunately, it's competing on Olisanda. Last season, Smith carried us throughout the entire season. Those cups that we won, Smith contributed immensely. Let's not be deluded by the start of the season in the MTN 8. We are well aware of Smith's qualities. Nduduze's player was chased by Sundowns. I don't know what happened, but let's not disrespect to Smith. It's like saying team is a friend. No. We know these things. Or saying Kanakimang, that boy was Sundowns. The Rook is a French player, still trying to establish himself. He's a quality player. Unfortunately, he faces stern opposition in terms of competition, rather, in his position there, Sundowns. So let's put some respect on Onkosnati Bojela's busy. We would not have all of these cups without Osbis. Are you answered, agent?
No, sir. All I'm saying is, if you have your CBC, no disrespect intended, as your top, legendary graduate, due respect, I can't be taking you serious. I'm sorry, Not saying CBC is a bad player. CBC is a good player, but come on,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Golden Arrows is going up against Sundowns. From the Sundowns DGC team, who's in the national team?
You see,
like I said, sometimes we look down on
no.
Mabena, national team, he won a tournament. And guess what? He's in the top 60 of the best players globally.
No, that's on a serious note.
Man, now you're going to
wait, guys.
No, guys.
Let's give
Can we be fair?
Let's be fair. Let's hear what Malumuku has to say in reply.
Abantwana bayafeyila, and I've read the post in the WhatsApp group. This is not the 30% population of the country. About 30% metric. So I'll repeat the question. Please answer it without extending. From the Sundowns DGC team, who is in the national team Bafana setup?
I can't be sure, but isn't Tau one of ours?
He's not. He's not in the national team. He used to be, but who is in the national team?
No, but he said in the national team setup.
Okay, so my point was to show which is very difficult to achieve the status that BC has achieved. Golden Arrows has made serious progress. They have produced a Bafana International to a point where Sundowns can only count someone who is in the setup and not in the previous team, who has been excluded from the past two collabs. But anyway, let me progress.
Can I defend my team as well?
I want to ask, guys.
Two. Kumbo, very quickly, Theo, very quickly.
No,
let's go with Theo.
No. At the moment, your friend seems to have valid points, but you forget, Tori, we've had players from our DDT team from the previous Bafana camps who have been called up. Just because there isn't one now, that doesn't mean, Hore, we've never had in the past. Because things are now aligned.
100%.
So you're going to use
Kumo.
this point
Let me put you on the spot
to make it seem and push a certain narrative.
Pesitau, Sundowns should be proud of Pesitau. Apart from Pesitau, who can you remember in recent times?
Recent times, Mucheka, Madisha.
May so rest in peace.
Okay, wait, guys.
Leave the topic.
Let me go to Theo. Theo, I had a question because
I'm dying already. I'm not going to put the Kuto. Who is better between Ungeza and Osibis, according to his eyes?
None.
Okay, guys. Hey. Okay. Well, I'm looking in the comments. There's Cassius. Somebody's saying Cassius Mailula. Somebody's saying Maema Umuzaro. Okay, wait. What I wanted to ask was, Manamekuto, when you look at Golden Arrows, and this is like a broader question, but when you look at Golden Arrows, we always reference Mangoba saying that, he won the MTN8 and then, there was an expectation, all of that stuff. Shouldn't we be expecting Golden Arrows to be moving forward at this point? And is it an issue that we're not seeing that from them? And does this trophy maybe help put them in the right light if they win it?
Mr. Uti, John committees, and before I continue, shout out to Cassius Mailula. I mean, I think everyone and anyone in the group knows how much I admire that boy. The national team misses that boy. Hence, our Reyners are in there. We need someone of Mailula's quality, someone who can score for us and dribble and play a combination play. And Cassius Mailula, we've lost a good one there. Hopefully, he recovers and comes back to the national team. When it comes to arrows, Mr. Oti, you have to know, Mr. Oti, where you stand and where you are.
Yeah.
You have to know your business. There's this guy, apparently went bankrupt, who in his book says a business at KFC was real estate more than fried chicken.
Yeah.
When it comes to Golden Arrows, I don't think their business is winning cups. It's more so to provide an advertisement board during the games on the sides, which is why they're also stubborn with their kit, because they understand their position in terms of being an advertisement board, but also it's a selling club, Mr. Oti, selling to better teams. So they should stick to that, Mr. Oti, because once you try elevate yourself, Mr. Oti, you kill yourself. And it's not only local, Mr. Even international. Leicester City tried this thing of moving from a selling club because they had somehow mysteriously won the league or accidentally won trophies. They tried, and today they are languishing somewhere in the lower tier of the league. I think they've been promoted, but they are not the same, Mr. Oti. Abo Rangers, Abo Santos, Abo Kanaking International. There's another team, Abo Newcastle, Abo QPR.
Leeds.
Once you try move from being a selling team, Mr. Oti, to being a big boy, it might swallow you, Mr. Oti. And I think Golden Arrows have learned from the mistakes of the past, and right now they are content. They know which actually missing number 9. Simnad, because the top 8 kills in terms of expenses of traveling. Let's just maintain our PSL status, maintain our relations with Orlando Pirates and Sundowns, sell games to Sundowns. I take that back. I don't mean that. But you get what I mean, Mr. Uti. You must just know where they are, who they are, and where their business is, Mr. Uti. So even Nale game lately, Mr. Uti, Sundowns has improved from last season. I don't care who says what, Mr. Uti. Sundowns has sharper teeth. People might say Sundowns, no, they've got sharper teeth. The bite goes deeper this season, Mr. Uti. So they might run riot.
Hey man, all I'm saying.
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear that. You're saying something along. Can you repeat that?
I'm saying Golden Arrows 5, Sundowns move.
No, Tando didn't hear you properly. Tando didn't hear you properly. Tando needs to hear you say something like that.
No, guys. Okay, so look, the only thing that I worry about is that we're creating so many teams that are afraid to take the next step. Golden Arrows is the 5th or 6th most experienced team in the PSL era. I think they dropped out once, and outside of Chiefs, Pirates, SuperSport, it would have been Wits. Those are the teams that have been in the PSL the longest. And I think it's kind of sad that a lot of the teams, I mean, we're telling Stellenbosch to slow down, we're Golden Arrows to slow down, we're SuperSport to slow down. Who's going to speed up if those guys are all slowing down? So I think that's a little bit of my worry. But let's go into the final game, which is Orlando Pirates, who are going to be playing Imakesi, the newcomers to the league, playing against the Cup champs of South Africa, the guys who win the trophies. Haven't won this trophy, but the guys who win the trophies versus the guys who just arrived in the league. How do we feel about this, guys, this game, Pirates versus Imakesi?
For me, I think it's going to be not a straightforward win for Pirates, but a win nonetheless. And I think we're sleeping on Paris, to be honest with you. And this is not me reciprocating the good faith. I think Paris have found a way to win and win cups.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a riot where they win, 3-4. I think 2-0, 1-0, maybe even at the 95th minute, they take home. And if Tom can Tom them again, they will move on, But I do think they're going to win, but I don't think they're going to riot. I think it's going to be a solid 2-0. Nothing fancy, nothing interesting about the game, nothing that you would remember and say, wow, what a game, except for obviously the end things. But otherwise, yeah, 3-4 win for Pirates, but not a comfortable win.
Agent, do you think Pirates fans would be fine with a local treble?
Yeah, sure. It would even be praised more than our own treble, sure, And for me, like I said, I think this is a procession of leading Coach Rivera out of the team, and what a way to bar out with a local treble, and even if it's a hit kick of just cups.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, they'll just be over the moon, with that. And obviously, with us as Sundowns, if we get our daily bread, sure, would even pop the champagne for them, even borrow them champagnes, because I know at Mayfair. But but I think they will win one more cup. I think they will win one more cup. They have the ability to win one more cup, yeah. But I think Nedbank would be an ideal because they are lucky with the draw. I'm not so sure about this cup, but I think Nedbank, they are able to retain it. But yeah.
What's behind this idea of Rivero leaving? Why is everybody speaking about Rivero leaving?
I think I told you at the beginning of the season that white guys, what I've seen with white guys is they know when to leave the stage. Baxter left, I think, first time, but let me start further afield. What is this guy's name that made Raja invisible? Zimbabwe left,
okay.
After going invisible, if it was a local person who would want to stay, and enjoy it, but you see now it's suffering, So I think these European guys know when to leave. That's the first thing, and 3 years, his contract is ending. He's not terminating. He's not being fired. That's good for a CV that you're able to see a project out, and he solidified my thoughts, at least when he mentioned that he hasn't been seeing his family, this past 2 years.
That's what I heard.
What, I'm like, yeah, this is solidifying my thoughts. And when I saw Pirates over celebrating him, not that they're wrong, on that page, and I would so posted it, I'm like, yeah, I was worried that he won't come back after this international break, but I'm glad he did come back. And I think he just needs to go out in a proper way, And I think the only thing that can keep him is maybe if he doesn't win the league and he has that quest to win the league. But I think with this cup that he has won, he wanted to leave it with something in hand, and he's got empty in it. I think that's why he was crying around like, okay, I wanted to leave, but I wanted to leave with something. At least I've left with an empty in it, at the very least. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody want to jump in? Pirates versus Makesi?
Mr. Utsi, amapakania phinselengiwane.
Hey.
Scary game, Mr. Uti.
Oh.
Yeah. Last season we faced Richards Bay and we were knocked out by Richards Bay. My God. Till to date, I still don't understand how we lost out on the Black Label to Richards Bay, and unfortunately it comes straight after the final, Mr. Uti.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for the international break. Maybe singabuya nyana sibuyise umqondo and approach Makesi with respect, Mr. Uti. But skeptical nyana, skeptical to be honest. I hope, I really hope we get over the cup victory blues and we hit the ground running, Mr. Uti. Nice part, which is Orlando. However, In as much as it's Orlando. It's Orlando, right?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
It's Orlando. My problem, Mr. Uti, is that the crowd seem to fill up month end. So right, I'm ticket have something to do with payday.
Yeah.
And it's Mampara week, so I don't know if Ratabale sold out a fee just to swallow Makesi, and Makesi are such an unknown quantity, Mr. Oti, or entity. I hope that guy who goes Stellenbosch earns his money, Mr. Oti, in this round.
The analyst, yeah.
Yeah, I analyze the into corner because, to be honest, I don't even know who plays right back for Imakesi. Do you know, Mr. Oti?
No.
I don't even know. Like the entire.
I can't answer you. Yeah.
The entire team. I've only heard which Dylan Makua is there, and I only know him because he's a player of interest. The rest, I ask Mr. Oti wins Alan, and hopefully, management and not management, but technical team is more responsible than us as our fans, Mr. Oti. But all in all, I'm worried, Mr. Oti.
Malume Kuzo, would you be happy with cup treble and not winning the league, let's say?
It's okay. It's definitely okay. So long as we in cup treble, are we talking CAF Champions League?
No. I'm talking local treble. MTN8, Nedbank Cup calling.
Yeah, if you can add the Champions League, Mr. Oti, I'm happy.
Yeah,
I want the Champions League, Mr. Oti.
Yeah.
I want the Champions League more than the league. The one that I want personally is Abuti Kuzu. Minangi one, Bonabai 10. I want the Champions League, Mr. Oti. The thing that makes me happy at Black Label is that I think Dani as much in the Champions League, so we can focus on CAF Champions League when CAF Champions League comes. But personally, I want the CAF Champions League. Another tricky part is that we don't have Oli Sanda, so it's not looking good, man, Saturday. But hopefully we get that 2-1 victory and pack the bus. But not winning the league, I'm crying not winning the league, provided that I have my Champions League. Actually, even if without the Champions League, maybe semi-final Champions League or even round of 8 Champions League, I'm okay with the treble locally.
Tell me about Rivero. Is he leaving? What's driving the stories? What do you think?
You know, Mr. Oti, which goes with the red card for Miguel and Abu Krankekan and Abu Kwaiba, told me that Rivero was leaving. And I commented immediately during the game when he
I remember.
Yeah, Ingwenya man, angiboni buya ngale CAF king FIFA period, FIFA window, whatever we call it. And Orlando Pirates' efforts, Mr. Oti, to convince him to stay were telling, Mr. Oti. Hey, they pulled out all the stops, Mr. Oti, during this international break, celebrating him on Facebook, showing him appreciation. I'm sure they sent Ama Ferrero Rocher and Ama Roses to his house to make sure he stays, Mr. Oti. And I don't understand why Ahleling up and not seeing his family for such a long time. He could have traveled FIFA break, ticket. If we're talking appreciation, could have traveled at the end of the season, unless if he wants to plan. Akaberka virtually, man, Mr. Oti.
But Spain, just now.
That's another part that I don't get. How big is Spain? Ukuthi akakhonanga nje ukuthi ithingithi tswe ngiyobona imedia yami ngibambe 2-1. I don't understand, Mr. Uti, unless if he's a fasting man and he knew which if he sees his Miss Rivero, she will break his fast. So maybe it's all part of the plan, Mr. Uti. But I don't see Jose Rivero at Pirates next season. It's clear as
Can I ask you, would it be the right decision for him to move? Because we saw, take for example, Zimbabwe left. Yeah, nah, I think it was a family thing, or it was allegedly a family thing. Now he was back at Morocco. He's now bouncing around Africa. Would it be the right decision for him to leave?
It would, Mr. Oti. It would. Zimbabwe is back in Morocco.
Well, he was in Morocco. Then I think he was in another African country. I'm forgetting the team that he was coaching. But
He was
yeah.
at Raja. I know he was at Raja.
He's in Saudi Arabia.
He's in Saudi Arabia now. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Okay. But yeah, it would be the right time to leave, Mr. Oti. Yes, we've had a great run at the start of this season. We've never seen this before. But the Zimbabwe situation, right, is a Jurgen Klopp Pep situation, Mr. Oti, where you are doing great things that the team has not achieved before. Unfortunately, your competition is on steroids, Mr. Oti. Like, how does someone win 29 games, Mr. Oti, and you're told, and Abu Oti are like, the gap is too big. Paris must catch up. It's not Paris, Mr. Oti. The guys won 20 games, failed to lose in 29 games. Since Argentina. No, I understand, Mr. Oti. I understand. Bayern lost the league last season, but Leverkusen went unbeaten, Mr. Oti. You're like, it has nothing to do with me. The other guy is still a bit too good. And like I said, they probably improve this season. So if I don't know if we can keep this unbeaten run going and for how long.
Yeah.
And do we have the energy to like keep an unbeaten run, Mr. Oti, for 10 games? So even if he doesn't win the league, Mr. Oti, he can leave with his head held up high, Mr. Oti. And Mr. Oti, as going to benefit in peace. 2 games, Yana. Seniors. Send for the VAR. Our minister said, "Bafaka quotations, about keep points. 2 games, Yana benefit. I'm in my team, 7 games, Mr. Oti, 2 leg. Kale mina ngiyi-1 ngithi angeke thina 2 games nyana uminister ngoba ufavor Chiefs akakhipha ibudget that time futhi angeke naye impahla Mr. Oti angeke.
I think that's the question I want to ask everybody, guys. Would he be making, okay, let me ask it the way Malumi Kutso had said it. Is it a Bayern Munich Liverpool situation where you're fighting a behemoth, you're fighting a monster, maybe you should leave now? Or is he making a mistake leaving now and not finishing the job, if that makes sense? At least Klopp won the league at some point. He won some Champions Leagues.
But ask yourself this, George. Out of all clubs' trophies, can you name one trophy that was controversial?
No, none.
Exactly. Sure, but he won 3 back-to-back, whatever, but still remains. Yeah, your opinion, those asterisks. So we know how he won it. But third time is a charm, so you're gonna leave, you're gonna quote and say, you know how he won. He won't be that luck. He's been exposed. Now got draw happy. Pirates gets a favorable draw. What if those things have magnet or something to know for him? I guess it also happened last season when they got us like an easier team. Even during Pitso's tenure, guys, Pirates has always been benefiting. So because he knows who now everyone can see the nonsense that he does with his team. It's not his fault. It helps when the owner is also the chairperson of the entire governing body. So you can get away with anything. Because they didn't say it might be speculation, conspiracy theories. Mara, the fact that we always see them, there are too many of them to be considered a coincidence. Call me Mara nnete ke nnete. Wa o tlo tsamaya, a ka nna tsamaya. A tsamaya, at least his CV ko Europe tlebe glistering. O ka botsa hore I took a struggling team without winning 8 years, ke win 3 years in a row. I guess my motor Abongila Tom is my personal friend.
Allegedly. Hey. Hey, the thoughts expressed by the panel are not those of Overthinking Football, the host, other panelists of the show. Please.
No, but I'm not taking it. I'm not letting it. I'm going to be frank. Like a Nabutu give him favorite team. I'm letting
it.
Yeah.
Are Pirates fans aiming too low? Are the expectations too low? Because in as much as we're saying that, Klopp was fighting Man City, there was at least a smaller gap. The gap has gotten larger, and it's over 20 points. It was 19, I think, the season before. It was Boma 16. Are Pirates fans, man, content, a little bit too content? Should they not be wanting more?
Well, I was gonna say that like Guka Nova Magaza Marabanyaka Champions League. Loe Nakamova encouraged the nonsense or they're gonna get in trouble, like local trouble, including the PSL. Also,
no, Nedbank Cup, Nakibutsaka Nedbank Cup, MTN 8 Carling Cup. I gotta get it.
Oh, thank you for clarification. One Chalon. Oh, Nakibutsi Sagrevian PSL Pirate. Sharp, Coach Champions League, they might win because of experience here winner the cup or by trade, because that's exactly how well I win that thing. So yeah, you cook the inside and to take it all. They can do better. Levi Langas Magalba win the Champions League. And besides, why is it an ambition? As long as we need the cup for knockout rounds, so the match fixing. But hey, people say what. Then they're gonna have the audacity to compare Rulani, mokwena, Rivera, what they this British guitar. Wait, so now ambition now is sharp, but that's all they care about.
I wanna hear this. Agent, does Pirates aim to, no, actually, let me go to Theo. Theo, does Pirates aim too low?
OT, first of all, let's respect Ribeiro, guys.
Yeah.
Let's not take Ribeiro's name under the bus and really disrespect as if he's a coach like Atazwana Bonseki. OT, that's a coach that came to Pirates. He has guaranteed them a trophy every damn season, and in expense of Sundowns being there, him winning trophies while they are there. First and foremost, and secondly, is the reason why Rulani left. Let's not run away from there. Rulani left because of Ribeiro. That guy is smart, OT. That guy is so smart. He analyzes the game differently than most of the coaches that are either in the PSL. OT, a coach that can come in the PSL and just fit in like a glove, like Ribeiro did. I don't know anyone. I'm not disrespecting anyone. I just want us to put perspective in the truth. OT. Let's not be blinded by the fact that we didn't win the league or is not competing in the league as much as we want to. But when it comes to trophies, OT, that guy has been the best thing for the South African football. Let's be honest. And I think OT, him leaving he's gonna leave a very big gap for Pirates. It's gonna be challenging for Pirates to find a coach that's going to replace him or do more than what he has done. OT, PSL is not about the league, guys. We need to be honest. The PSL, yes, the league is important, OT, but it's not about it. The Chiefs has been winning trophies about Rothman. We never spoken about the PSL. Now all of a sudden, Sundowns is winning the PSL. Now we want to shout as if PSL is the best thing ever. No, OT. Ribeiro, OT, is a coach that is very, very highly decorated. He never came here and asked for a more player or asked for a more technical what. He just came here, did the job 3 seasons in a row. OT smashing everything in front of him except the league. So for me, I think we are being unfair on him. We are not being honest enough. Even I'm OT as a chief supporter, I would be the most happiest person if we can have a Ribeiro on our side.
But
So
then
for
I
him
wanted
to
to
leave
ask
Pirates is
you,
going to be very dangerous.
but I want to ask you, Theo, isn't that the problem? Uthi Tina, like for example, at Chiefs, Chabula man winela ma trophy wethu what. Jigi jigi abantu baneita. Konita is two and it's not Chiefs. Jigi jigi kunzima ukuwina. I'm not saying that you have to go and win more, but surely after 3 seasons, league kumele ibe khona or i-Champions League man before uhamba, especially if phakathi uyahamba.
To be honest with you, OT, let's be honest, the Champions League is South African teams. You know, it's been something that has been only highly rated to over my Sundowns winning. But the Pirates are competing. But to be honest, we never cared about Champions League, OT. And we must not sit here and pretend as if Chiefs would have not won Champions League in the early 2000s. Yeah, but to be honest with you, OT, we were more focused on South African glory than glorious Africa. Sundowns came and then they looked at the African glory and then they got the star. But where are they now, OT? When did they last play the final? And another thing, OT, Ahly, one of the reasons why they are the best teams in Africa, for me, is because they've been able to dominate in the league and also the Champions League. You cannot come to me and say you are dominating good league, you're winning the league, but you are failing in Champions League. And also you are winning the Champions League, but you are failing the league. Balance it. I think we are the best team in Africa, or the so-called best team in Africa. But for us, OT, I think with the coach that we have now, we are laying the ground rules. But we are making it clear, OT, you want to be one of the most dominating forces. As for the Pirates, I think, OT, it goes also with objectives that they are giving the coach. I don't think, personally, I don't think they set Ribeiro down and said to him that the Spanish Champions League. I don't think that. I don't believe that. Because if that was the reason, OT, I don't think Khoza would have came out and said, yeah, they once called him a plumber, now he's the best coach in South Africa. If that was the reason to be from Champions League. I think Khoza just wanted someone who stabilize the Pirates and then see in the foreseeable future, okay, now you can aim higher as they're doing now, because now they made it clear they won the league. Yeah, but the Champions League, but I don't want to lie to you, it's not a pap in place. Look at Double Wide, you look at Double Raja. They are reinforcing who that will be in the Champions League next season. It's not going to be easy. Look at what Rulani is doing there. The reinforcement, Ahly, they are negotiating Motaung because they want the best team for the Champions League. So I don't think it's in the foreseeable future Pirates will win it. Even this season, I don't even think they will make top 4 Champions League. Even in Sundowns, it's going to be very dangerous. It's going to be very hard for them. But I see the development in the Alliance.
I want
to. We need help. No. Let's help. No. This one is.
Whoa, guys. Whoa.
Since when is MTN 8, Telecom, and Nedbank Cup small trophies?
It's not about.
Good question.
No. It's for me. It's not about them being small. Malume Kuzo, it's you've done that now. And when you've done that now and you look at the league and the gap is still so big, I think that's where my question comes from, because it's like one of the things when you mention when you mention
you've won the league now and the gap between you and Al Ahly is still like
yes, I do. You know that.
Sundowns is a horrible team then.
Yeah, you know that. No, but we're asking them to take the next step because why? It's been almost 10 seasons since they won it. So now the question becomes, after 10 seasons, why aren't you, while your peers, Al Ahly are winning back to back, abanye winner 2 in a row, abanye winner. Remember when I said here, when Sundowns goes there, they've got 8-star. Vest is 12, 5. You get me?
My problem is the structure of your dimming view on these cups. Because when you talk about cups, you're like, yeah, you'll be happy now. Next thing, you're not winning anything for 10 years. I get the trauma from a Chiefs supporter. But why do you not say the same thing with league to start and say, yeah, if you're just winning the league, and
do you
you're
know
not winning
why?
the CAF, then next thing you won't be winning anything, and
Do you know why, Madame Kutu? Do you know why? It's because they've won by 9 points, then 16 points, then 16 points, then 19 points, then 23 points, then one game off of being invincible. They've gone forward, right? And then my question, then my question to Sundowns has always been, you've got the league. It's wrapped up. It's 8 seasons you guys have won the league. But the Champions League, I need now. I've asked that question. So I'm asking for Pirates, Guti. I'm not saying those things are not small and it's not great what Rivero has done. But if you're going to repeat the same season for three seasons and nobody's calling properly for it to go forward, are you dreaming too small? I'm not even saying that he must go win it, but it's almost like you guys sound as though you are resigned to it. Like, it's like, no, if we're to win the league, it would be nice, Mara. Not really. If you're to win the Champions League, it would be amazing, Mara. It's not really. Whereas a Sundowns, and I'm not saying that they do it any better, but a Sundowns, we know, this is what they've wanted for X amount. This is what they go for. Abasaiborn in the league, in their eyes. Abasaiborn in the league. Now we question them and say, okay, in a dominator lapo, now Petama trophy, MTN8, Nedbank Cup twice in a row, 3 times MTN8, twice Nedbank Cup. Hey, you guys are fire there. But after 3 years, 23 points a licking. Even your example, Yaga Klopp, at least at the very least, Klopp went and won the Champions League, and they were still like, the Champions League is amazing, it's great, but there's still that monkey we have off of our back, and he kept finishing so close, eventually won it. That's different to what's happening at Pirates. Would you at least give me that?
Yeah, no, but I don't want us to dim the light of our successes, Mr. OT. Minangazi team winner all the cups back to back, Ganjina, Mr. OT. So I do not want us to pretend as if what Pirates is doing.
Mara double treble. No. You guys have the double treble, Mar.
Do we have the double treble and an MTN8 after that?
You have a double treble. Did you win the league during this run? 6 trophies. He's got 6 trophies in 2.
Mr. OT, we're gunning right now. We're gunning for a play of words now. You've got a double treble. Now you're going for a triple double.
A triple, no, but that's 6 trophies. That's 6 trophies in 3 years. You guys did 6 in 2.
And by the way, Mr. OT, it double treble is over 10 years old now. That's how far you have to go. That's how far you have to go to reference something that can rival Jose Cup. No, and that's not via Pirates, via all the teams, Mr.
Exactly.
Because I asked, we would see, why are we pretending as if what Jose is doing is normal? Which other team, Mr. OT, can you point to and say they've been doing it like that?
But it goes back to the question that I asked. If after the double treble, you couldn't go and win a Champions League, and you've regressed to the point where now a triple double, have you taken another step? And it's not to say that those trophies mean nothing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, now that's in the bag. Not good to say badly. It's the way we look at the league. No, the way we look at the leagues for Sundowns now. Now we look at them and say, there's 8 of them. Mara guys.
Can I ask something, George? George, can I ask something? Do you blame Bayern Munich for losing the league last season?
Do I blame them?
Yeah.
No.
Why?
Bayer Leverkusen were invincible.
That's the same thing as Sundowns. What?
No, go on. Huh?
No, I don't want to take Kuto's time because I want to respond to what they were saying, but that's the point, that you are facing a monster of a team. Sometimes we don't have to say that you have lost the league. Yes, if it was medium drop, we have to look at, okay, man, you were leading, man. How did you lose this? But that league where you are like, no, man, there has to be context behind this. And the context is whether, I get your point that the points have increased, right? But excluding last season, I think it's fine, because last season was a freak season. It was a total season.
It
So
was
I don't
16
think
points before that. 16
It
points.
was 16
Then
points
2
before
9s.
that.
Then
It was
6.
6
It's 8 of them, agent.
No, it was 16 points before that, right?
Yeah.
And it is second season. It is what? First or second season? Second season, right? No, first. I think it's first, ne? Was it first? It was first season.
Yeah.
So how do you expect him to win the cup? It's like you guys expecting Jose to also do that, to close the gap on Sundowns, But
that's what I'm saying. But agent, the example we're using,
But OT, all I'm saying is, put context behind Paris not win the league.
I hear you.
Expect Sundowns for it.
But check what I'm saying. It's the same thing we say about Sundowns. I always put context behind Sundowns, but there's an expectation that Sundowns needs to go do something now. And I'm not speaking from the first treble. I'm not speaking from the first trophies. I'm speaking now for 2 years, going into your third, where you're expecting your coach to leave. And why I'm asking Pirates right now is not to say that they have to go and win it, but when you hear them speak, agent.
Okay.
Agent, when you hear them speak, you see, when you hear Sundowns speak, you guys have lost the Champions League for what? You guys haven't won the Champions League for 10 years. What's the line that you guys say? We need to go win it. That is what we want. It's the first thing. It's the first thing. I'm looking at Pirates fans and I'm saying, I hear you that you've got the 2 trophies, which is incredible, or 4 or 5 trophies. It's incredible. I'm not putting it away. But now I'm saying that team is so incredible that at some point we have to start saying, guys, start pushing those other people. It's the same question that I had when we were speaking about Stellenbosch and Golden Arrows and all those guys. Stellenbosch can be happy and all of those guys can be happy. But at some point, you have to develop the hunger to want to go get something else. Sundowns could have been happy with 7 league titles. You could have been happy. Agent, are you happy right now completely with just winning the league?
What is the context behind Sundowns losing the Champions League? We have faced the weakest Ahly that I've seen at least in a very long time.
That's what I'm saying.
No. This is the context behind us not being happy. We have lost by freak against Wydad. We have lost against Esperance, weirdly enough.
Yes.
We have beat Ahly 5-0 and somehow still don't win the Champions League. That is criminal. That is the context behind it. That's why we are demanding
but also time. Agent. If you lost to those 2 teams in 2017 and 2018, you're not going to be as frustrated as in 2024. You get me?
No, but still they're still weak. It's Sundowns weak.
But does it not add on that it's been long?
Sundowns and Paris not winning Champions League and Paris winning the league. There are 2 different contexts. Sundowns and Paris is facing a once-in-a-lifetime team. Sundowns is wasting a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
But I could argue that Ahly has won 5. Wydad has won 2. ES Tunis won back-to-back. So is it not as insurmountable as you are speaking of? Because then it's the same challenge. The other guys have been winning. This is the team of the century. They've won 4 of the last 5 Champions League.
That's the point. Let me know.
That's
the point that we are facing the team that is not as strong as it used to be.
But do you still want it? Okay, agent, but do you...
We beat Club of the Century 5-0. And they still won the Champions League.
But do you still want it, agent? Agent, do you still want it? Or do you resign yourself and say, we're not going to do it? That's what I'm getting to.
We need to win it when other teams are as weak as they are now. And
agent. But do you want it?
Let me leave the conversation between you and Pitso. Let me leave you the conversation.
No, you see, the question that I'm asking is, and again, it goes back to what I was saying. Sundowns is an insurmountable once-in-a-lifetime team in our league. Cool, I get that. My question is, how come there's no hunger to go and take them down? Sundowns has been facing teams that have won these things over and over and over again, but the hunger is still that we need to go fetch it, right? I'm not saying you will fetch it. I'm not saying you must fetch it. My point that I'm making with Pirates fans sometimes when I hear you guys is you guys have an incredible team. I've often said here that the only thing that's beating Pirates is mental, especially in the league, because you're not losing those games because you're playing Sundowns 29 times in a row. You're losing the league because you come up versus Richards Bay on a random Wednesday and you lose that game. So for me, my thing is I'm looking at this incredible Pirates team and I'm saying it's very weird that now when it comes time for maybe a little bit of consistency in the league or something like that, fans and sometimes it feels like the attitude is we can't do it. You get me? So that's my thing. Sundowns has no right to be speaking about winning the Champions League, right? When you look at the facts of it is that there's teams that have won it 4 out of 5 years. There's teams that have 5 stars, 4 stars. Hey, ziyawa when they get to the knockout stages. But at no point does Sundowns go, oh, Ahly, 4 out of 5. No, that's not the point.
Well, that is not even there now.
Agent, that's not the point. The point is that on stats, they've won them. On stats, you should be going 4 out of 5 years Ahly has won. Jesus Christ, how do we beat these guys, right? And I'm not even talking that you have to go beat them, but on stats, you haven't been there. And then on stats, you're playing against a team that has won it 12 times. Everybody says at the beginning of the season that Sundowns is weak. Remember how we always start? Oh, Sundowns is so weak. Oh, Sundowns, this season, hey, chameleon. What do you guys do? You win to a point where everybody goes, you know what, it's fine. But I'm not even saying that it's crazy. Bayer Leverkusen winning last season was incredible. But it would be very easy for Bayer Leverkusen to say, Bayern Munich has won it so many years in a row. You get what I mean? It would be, for Klopp, it would be easy for Klopp to come in and say, Man City, we went 99 points, we went 98 points, we went 97. Jesus Christ, I don't want to do this anymore. And finally did it at the end. But at the time when he was running for it, he was going, you know what, guys, we have to figure out what the number is. We have to figure it out. That's what I'm saying. I knew Sundowns is not being incredible. I'm just saying that Pirates is a very incredible team to be fighting Stellenbosch, 23 points behind Sundowns, and to be fine the next season. You get me? That's what I'm fighting.
George, can I say something about the league? I'm not fighting with anyone, I promise.
Maybe you can take it on, Kumo. Right.
Thanks, Lutando. All I'm saying is that I hear you about the achievement that Rivero has done, but what I won't allow is that you're gonna dim the light of Sundowns winning 7 times the league, especially by the amount of points we have won it by. And it's like, if you're gonna actually be honest with ourselves, and talk about the trophies hierarchy, number 1 will forever be the Champions League. Number 2 will be the PSO Betway. Number 3 will be Nedbank Cup. Number 4 will be the Carling, right? Then top 8, that's like the bottom one. So now you wanna equate a byproduct of the PSL, the league, the mother, the one that allows you, that determines if you're gonna play in the MTN 8 or you're gonna play in the CAF Champions League or even the CAF Confederations Cup. That is my only problem. You can win all your trebles and say no other team is decorated, which is no other coach is decorated like your Pirates coach is, which is a fair point. But you can win all three trophies, and without the league, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean anything. A treble with no league is just like, okay, you won cups and then what? The holy maker in domestic achievement in PSL, get the league. You can have and pass all you like, as long as the league is shame. What's one? That's all I'm saying.
Well, let me let Tyler come in, then I'll let you close, Malumekuzo, for fairness. Tyler?
No, I think, OT, it boils down to what we've been complaining about. on Pirates. For me, Pirates is a team that is assembled for cup games because it's easier to win them. You play 3 or 4 games and then you are there in the final. You know, even their squad, there's no depth. It's just the first 11 is your best 11. Only 2 or 3 players that are outside that you can put in and make an impact. Sometimes they interchange. They put in Urelo Mokwena to come and change the game. Dlamini to come in and change the game. So far, those are the only players that can do something for Pirates. You know, there is no planning for a longer period. That's why you find them winning these cups, you know. And it's true what Kumo was saying. You can have all the MTN, all these, you know, the cups that you've been winning, but if you haven't won the league, coaches won't respect you. Even if, you know, you're in South Africa, but what did you win? The Smallanyana Cups. Where's the you know, because that is the biggest you know, in any league in around the world. You win the league, you are regarded as one of the best coaches in that league, you know. But yeah, as for Ribeiro, he has done well, considering the fact that he's a foreign coach, arrived in South Africa in 2022, and people were calling him names, calling him the Bamba. He has won the MTN consecutively 3 times, you know. So after Rukroll, I think one of the best in Pirates colors. He's won the Nedbank 2 times. So I think it's good for him. But Pirates, they won't win the league. They won't win the Champions League. Simple as that. I think you're right. You know, OT. They won't win it. And if there's no financial backing to it, like what Sundowns do, each and every position you've got a best player, about 3 players that are best, you stand a good chance on going and fighting. That's why they are not happy, because they know how much money they're spending on those players monthly on salaries alone, and to get those players, for them to become second best in the Champions League, they're supposed to be number 1, you know. So Paris doesn't have that desire, because you see it through finance backing as well, that you know, and even now they won't make it to the top 4. They won't make it to the top 4. Thanks.
All I'm saying there, for me, I'm not making a proclamation that Pirates won't do it. I am just sad that such an incredible Pirates team has no expectation or ask to go and do it. I think that's my sadness here, because again, even when you speak about that Liverpool team, I think everybody knew that Man City was the Centurions, they were what, but I don't think there was a point once Liverpool got running. Those first 2 years, fine, but in the 3rd season, the 4th season, the 5th season, I don't remember there being a time where, you know, there was, people were just saying, no, you can't. They were still pushing to go for it. And I think this Pirates team is too good. I say this every single day when I'm here, that Pirates is the most dangerous team in the league. And all they lack is consistency. It's not the opponents they face, it's not whatever. And even if they don't win the league, sometimes it feels that it's okay to go and lose that game to Richards Bay. Whereas if you look at a Sundowns, for example, if they lose a game, right, in the league, hey, all hell might break loose, to the point where Coach Wakwana was fired even though he was invincible. It could be very easy to say, you know, coach was invincible. He did such an incredible thing. How do you get rid of that coach? Which is something that some of us said. But at the end of the day, management and I guess some of the fans were like, you know what, guy? And obviously that was narrative, but they were like, you know what, guy? It still wasn't enough. And sometimes still wasn't enough is not a negative thing. I always say here, pressure is not a negative thing all the time. It's not always a negative thing. And sometimes it's not necessarily that you have to go and win the thing. But we can't be in October, a few months into the start of the season, and people are already sometimes, and I'm not saying it's you, Malume Kuto, but people are resigning themselves to, it's a monster team. Look at what they've done. I feel like I'm more optimistic than a lot of Pirates fans. And sometimes it feels like you look down on that legacy that you've built with those trophies in the play that you've had there, and not to expect it or not to ask for it to translate as well onto a league or something. And sometimes I even asked you guys, you may not even win the rest of the cups, right? Fine. But then can you do something now, Paman, to go and fight that big behemoth? Sometimes it's just about that belief. Sometimes you need one team to beat Sundowns, then many teams will come and do whatever. Sometimes you need one team to just just fight Sundowns. Then 2 years later, you'll find an Arsenal going 6 points away from Man City, something we never dreamed of. But, it's a really good team. Anyway, Malume Kutso, you can close it off. Sorry.
No, Mr. Uti, but Tyler, talk about someone contradicting themselves within like a space of 2 minutes. Someone says when you win cups, you'll never get the respect. And then within a minute of that says huge respect to what he's achieved. Guys, can we pick a side and stay with it? Clearly, I'm respected for winning these cups. Can I respond?
Well, I think let's let Malume Kutso finish the thought for time, because we've gone over by quite a bit.
We need 1 minute each, please. How? 1 minute.
Marangeni Malume Kutso has been listening to us, Shem, and he's the Pirates fan here, unfortunately.
Oh, he's a Pirates fan. Okay, no wonder. Okay,
I won't go for too long, Mr. Oti. And Mr. Oti, when you say, Tina, we are aiming too low. No, we know, Mr. Oti. We know which is a provider, Rivero, Mr. Oti. So we are grateful for all that he's done for us. And Asimbegi under pressure, because he has earned his place in our hearts, Mr. Oti. You understand? Uchoze Rivero, Mr. Oti, even going into this final, celebrator. But even if we had lost to Stellenbosch, Mr. Oti, I'm sure you could pick up that. See, right, Mr. Oti. He will actually go down as one of the best coaches to ever coach in terms of output, Mr. Oti, towards the Pirates. And can we move away from our cliches and our social myths and things that somehow we've accepted, but they don't really meet a reality? When we say it's easy to win a cup, Mr. Oti, what do we mean?
Please say it. Please make sure that you're not saying I said that.
Yeah. What do we mean?
It's 4 games.
What do we mean? Yeah, what do we mean? Because
Well, 4 games.
Guys, it's gonna go to the group anyway. But yeah, I just want Malume Kutso to finish so we can close.
Mr. Oti,
Give him his space, please.
The room for error in a cup competition is 0. You lose, you're out. If you lose in the league, you still have another day to fight. You can even get clapped 5-0 and still win the league. You've seen that with Sundowns, losing 5 to Celtics and still winning the league, losing to Chiefs, losing to Pirates and still winning the league. So what do we mean when we say a tournament that has no room for error is easier than a tournament, or rather a competition where there's ample room for error, Mr. Oti? And another thing is that, like the league, only one team can win the tournament. It's not like 4 coaches can win 1 cup in 1 season. It's still one team. And in SA, Mr. Oti, from the past 5 attempts, actually, from the past 6 attempts to win a cup, only 2 coaches have won those cups. And from those 2 coaches, the other one has only won 1. The other one has won 5. So is it really an accurate statement to say it's easy to win cups? I think the other 15 coaches would tell you that it's not as easy as you think, because they failed for the past 2 seasons. And if we add the 3rd season where Sundowns also had a clean sweep, we might say the other 14 coaches also will tell you, hey guys, we've been starving for the longest time. So let's desist from these nice lines of people with jealousy that are not supported by facts. It is not easy to win a cup. Champions League has a cup format, and trust me, it's always Al Ahly, it's always Real Madrid. Pep Guardiola will tell you how difficult it is to win that Champions League. Well, it's going to be actually a cup. Please, Mr. Oates, let's respect our achievement, the Pirates. Let me pass the mic.
Yo, guys, for time, guys. Guys, we've gone over by 20 minutes. Guys.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds.
Guys,
No,
we have to cut it there. We have to cut it there.
30 seconds to the big God. 30 seconds to the big
No,
God.
there's a reason why I let Malume Kuto finish.
No,
the reason why I let Malume Kuto finish, guys.
Let me say this, that for me, it's not it's not disrespect on the league, or on the cups. I think a league is a true measure of where the team is in terms of progress, but there are certain exceptions insofar as what Pirates have did. It can be progress, can be seen as progress in as much as they haven't won the league. But for me, a league is a true measure of progress. Yeah, and thank you.
Hi, Tyler, take a minute. Hey, it's fine.
I wanted to say, OT, just check in an MTN, how many games do you need to play to win it? In the Nedbank, how many games do you need to play to win it? And then you will come and tell me, Guti, what I've said is not a fact.
And Chiefs have gone 10 years without winning.
Guys. Okay, time. This is all I'll say because I feel like maybe my point might be lost here. All I'll say to close. I think Pirates is an incredible team. And I think Pirates, similar to Sundowns, at this point, they deserve the belief. If you look at the comments right now on TikTok, Malume Kuto, you'd understand what I'm saying here. That believing in the team does not mean pressure. Asking the team to do better does not mean, not even better. To do more does not mean pressure. Mamelodi Sundowns went from a team that wasn't featuring in the Champions League. Maybe in South Africa, we weren't even thinking of the Champions League like that as a whole. But part of the driving force is that now we need to, let's take the next step and the step after that and the step after that. And sometimes it's not pressure, it's belief, right? I feel like sometimes the handbrake is up at Pirates because it's easier to put the handbrake up and then go, yeah, but the league, we never really wanted it like that. Not to put yourself on the line, or your coach not to put yourself on the line. We speak about Pep and the Champions League. To this day, they will tell Pep, Guti, you won all those leagues, but all I wanted was the Champions League. You've won all the leagues. It's a very tough thing to do. You've broken all types of records. It's been incredible. But there's that thing that puts you up there with the best teams. There's a reason why the star on Pirates' jersey means so much more than any of the 90 what trophies that Chiefs have been said to have won. There's a reason why Mamelodi Sundowns is chasing a star, even though they've done an incredible thing in winning a league 8 times in a row. That's 240 matches that Sundowns had to be great at. That is an incredible thing. But what do they say at Sundowns? Yeah, guys, we've built up to this level. Now we need to go there. Aslandava. Guti, Al-Ali is playing bad or good or they're the best team or whatever. We're looking there. So it doesn't mean that is pressure on Sundowns. Sometimes that is just going, guys, you are at the level right now. Pirates is at the level right now where they're making the hardest thing look easy. There's another hill. Pirates is at a level, Sundowns is at a level where they're making one of the hardest things look easy. There's another level. Man City, you look so great. There's another level. Bayern Munich, you lost to Leverkusen. How dare you? There's another level. Arsenal, you have finished 6 points behind this City team from 5 years ago. You were sitting at number 4, number 5. At some point, you were number 8. There's another level. It doesn't mean that I'm saying that we're going to look past all the work that has been done. I'm going, yeah, Pirates must cement it now. Cement it. Go fight them then. You've done this. And not to say that this doesn't mean anything, but you've done this. Sundowns, you've done this. League, you've done it. You guys walk into the season, it doesn't matter what's happening. You think to yourselves, the league is ours. That's even a good pressure, a good push. Now you're going to the Champions League. You get me? And for me, it's a testament to how good a team is. Not a testament to how bad you have done. You are so good, guys. The next year, you guys are so good. And maybe other people are looking at it as the Cups being easy. I just wanted to end this by giving my point that for me, it's that Pirates is such a great team that it's criminal for them to be 23 points away. And that 23 points is not even because they played badly in some of those games or outplayed in some of those games. Sometimes it's just mentality. I speak about Sundowns and say the difference was that Sundowns can go and win the 1-0 when it's tough. Pirates, can you do it? And up to this point, they're unbeaten right now. So maybe let's not call it pressure. Let's call it belief. If they win it, they win it. If they don't, they don't. We don't lose anything by saying we trust them. There's comments here that are saying that, we face injuries and things like that. We can't be saying that now. I feel like you're shooting yourself in the foot now, or you are trying to make yourself land softer now. Nobody says that when it's time to go out to the Nedbank or to the MTN8. Why? Because that's Sundowns, that's Pirates' thing. Whether Pirates lose in Da or whoever, there'll still be a thing that you guys believe that they can go there. Can you believe to go to the league, guys? It's been 3 seasons of incredible play. Can we go there now? Please, can we have a team? And I'm a Chiefs fan, for those who don't know. But I'm sitting here going, it's criminal that Pirates team is doing like this, is like that in the league. It's criminal. It's criminal that this Sundowns team is so incredible, but they haven't been able to win that thing. It's criminal. We even had a conversation where I was saying that I don't think it comes down to your investment and all of those things. Ahly needs that thing to breathe. Can you fight a person who needs that thing to breathe? How do you do it? Can you do it? When Man City needs the league to breathe, just to go, yeah, that's our minimum for the season. How do you fight those guys? And our club, even if they didn't do it all the time, there was still an expectation or a belief that they were going to do it with that incredible squad that they had. So when I look at Pirates and I see your Titos and I see your Salengs and I see your Ndaz and I see all those guys and I see Mochaine and I see all those people, I'm like, wow. I'd love to see them take the next step. I'm not even a fan. When you see Sundowns and the way they put together, Williams, Mang, and you look at how Ahly plays and whatever, I look at them and I go, wow, I'd really love to see that Sundowns. I'm not even a Sundowns fan. So, guys, can we find that belief, man? It's not to say they have to go win, Mara. It feels like everybody's holding on to something. But anyway, guys, let me close. I've gone over by quite a bit.
And that's why I'm going to 30 seconds. Petty Veselinzima when I passed that enigma.
Ngithi mina bengivala. Malume bengivala. So since nivulile nami ngathi ngene ke.
You see these people back OT. You see this back OT. But Chiefs won the Papa Wawa Cup.
It's good to win the Papa Wawa Cup, man. It's fine.
If we closed OT. If we closed, we're live.
I'm closing. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you everybody for being here. That was the members show. So these are the conversations we have, and trust me, there's no 2-hour limits. We go in. There's voice notes, there's videos, there's evidence, there's stats, there's this, there's that. So if you want to be part of that community, an incredible community, it is available by going onto YouTube. Click on subscribe, click on join. In the members area is the link to come into the group. And then also on Thursdays, you'll be able to join us. But also during 24/7, we're available. If you send a message at 2 a.m., I'm not kidding, somebody might answer you. So please join. I'll be back again on Saturday. Saturday, we're doing a 7-hour stream. We're going to be starting at 3 p.m. and we're going to be watching all the way to 10 p.m. Because Chiefs, Pirates, and Sundowns are all playing on the same day. So please join me for that. Thank you to those in the comments. Thank you to the gifters. Thank you to the members for being members and for having these convos. You can tell how these convos go. Also, guys, support our content as content creators. I've got a video out on TikTok. I've got a couple of videos out on YouTube. Please, if you want to hear my thoughts about a lot of things, my thoughts personally, you can watch there. If you want to jump in and have a conversation, Monday to Thursdays, 7 p.m. we are here and we let people in and we have our conversations. Guys, it's been amazing. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Bye, everyone.